Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's having a blessed afternoon. I am having a blessed afternoon. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Right? I'm back with another good one. This is another good one. This is talking about, right, Sahaba Bilal. May, may the Creator, the Almighty, be pleased with his soul. Right? And I want to get the right connection. I want to get the right understanding on Bilal. Bilal's not really recognized, and Bilal is not really talked about in religion scriptures, right? Bilal's not really talked about in hadith. He is, but he isn't, right? A lot of this information is hidden from us, right? And no disrespect to our brothers and our Muslim brothers, right? Our faith. No disrespect to you, but we got to get this stuff corrected, and we got to stop being gatekeepers of information. Bilal just was not a slave. If you go into his history and you go into, right, his liturgy, and you go into his parents was of royal bloodline. His mother was a prince, right? And his father was a king, right? And they're from Abyssinia, which is called Ethiopia, right? Bilal just wasn't just no like slave, like they put it out there, which is disrespectful, right? You need to put some respect on Bilal's name, right? Bilal was a very straight up, stern Sahabas, and was every day bit away of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is an actually true fact. This is an actually true fact. And some of the early hadith of Bilal, let me tell you this. Bilal got so many hadith, right, and so many narrations of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A lot of this is not out to talk about Bilal. Talk about Bilal. One of the hadiths was narrated that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ran up to Bilal and asked Bilal, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And Bilal asked, what you mean what I'm doing? He said, I seen your footsteps in front of mine in paradise. And Bilal and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Bilal, what is he doing? And Bilal told him that I'm making wudu. I am making wudu when I go to sleep. And then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told all of his Sahabas to make wudu, right, before they go to sleep, before they rest. This is an actual true fact. Bilal just was not basically no slave. He was a Sahaba, a warrior. He fought in all of the battles, right? A battle of Badr, a battle of Uhud, all of the battles of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a warrior, right? He was born in 580 and passed away and went back to the Alpha Omega, to creating everything in existence, in 640. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, Bilal was very sick, meaning that he was sick and grieving of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passing, right? And Bilal just was not the muwedda of Islam, the call to prayer, right? The creator, the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, instilled in Bilal, right, to call the call of prayer, which is called the Adhan and the Aqama. The Adhan and the Aqama, right, in Arabic in Islam. This is an actual true fact, the call to prayer, right? And this is really deep, man, that we do not basically big Bilal up. We only talk about the four caliphs, the Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, right? And may Allah be pleased, and may the Creator be pleased with their soul, right? Ali, right? Abu Bakr, Uthman, and Umar. We only talk about these Sahabas, but there were some Sahabas that wasn't playing no games. That was playing no games, right? During the early time of how the Quraysh was going after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and trying to kill him and murder him. There were Sahabas that were stepping up and fighting and getting busy, and Bilal was one of them. Bilal was one of them. He was there every step of the way, holding down the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, right? That was from Abyssinia, right, in Ethiopia, and that his parents, right, was blessed with intellect, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is an actual true fact. And I got to say, and I got to tell the Muslim brothers all around the world, right, that Islam, right, and this way of life started with us first. Started with the indigenous people first, right? The first people in creation, right? In civilization. It's us. This is an actual true fact, which spread it out, which practiced the oneness of the Alpha Omega to actually pray to the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything that exists, the Almighty. It started with us first, and then spread it out amongst any and everybody. The first hijra and the first migration of basically of the Muslims, right, from Mecca to Abyssinia, Ethiopia, was commissioned to Bilal because he has connections to Abyssinia, right? And remember, and then he had family over there, people over there. You know what I'm saying? He suggested to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to migrate Pacific Sahabas of him, right, to Abyssinia, because over there in Abyssinia, right, there was Christianity being taught the oneness of the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything in existence. And later on, they became Muslim because they knew that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the last messenger and the last prophet and of this bloodline. And I don't care that this bloodline started over here in the West, right, and end up over here in the East. There's only one bloodline, and the bloodline that I'm talking about in the oneness and upholding the oneness of the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything in existence, right? And I'm talking about belief that the ancient ancestors prayed, right, to uphold this bloodline, meaning the oneness of him, the worship of him, the worship of the Alpha Omega, the worship of the Almighty, which is really, really important. So I don't want to get off on the topic. I don't want to get off on Bilal. May the Almighty be pleased with his soul, but he just wasn't no slave. He come from a strong background of the oneness and worshiping the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything in existence. His mother believed in one creator, right? His father believed in one creator. And then they was of royalty. They was of royalty. Princess, actually a princess, right? And prince, his father and mother. And Bilal was born in Mecca. He was born in Mecca. This is an actually true fact. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe the teachings. Don't believe certain things, right? And, you know, in Islam, and we believe in the right correction of information that's spread among us. We don't spread racism. We don't spread separatism. There's only one belief. And to be frank with you, I told you that the belief of worshiping and submitting to the Alpha Omega, to create and everything existing, started with us. It started with us. It started with us. This belief started with us. This is an actual true fact. So we got to get the correct understanding, and we got to give and put respect on Bilal's name. May the Creator be pleased with him. And Bilal gave a lot of hadith. Bilal gave a lot of hadith, a lot of information, because he was right there every step of the way with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Bilal. Bilal, you see a lot of his hadith inside Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah. Yes, there's a lot of his hadith. Him reporting what the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was doing on his daily basis act. Bilal was right there. He wasn't just no slave. He come from royalty. He come from respect. And he was Abyssinia, meaning Ethiopia. He came from royalty. He subjected to the Prophet Muhammad that the certain Sahabas go to what? Abyssinia. The first migration. The first migration of this way of life, of the oneness. And they stood there for a while learning. They stood there for a loud learning from the Abyssinians, from the king, and from those that was in charge over there in Africa, in Abyssinia, that we call Ethiopia today. This is an actual true fact, man. And we have to understand this. We got to put some respect on his names. And of course, he was the call of prayer, the Muwedda, yes. Because it came through him with the Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing. He had a touch of what? Of the ancient ancestors in his bloodline. That's why the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, yo, why is your footprints in front of me in paradise? He said, because I am doing wudu before I go to sleep, before I lay down, before I rest. I do wudu. He used to always talk to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They used to always ride together. That was his best companion. They said Abu Bakr, but it was Bilal. It was Bilal. Bilal was always there. And we need to put some respect on his name. And this goes to all around the Muslim world. Because we don't practice racism and we don't practice disrespect to none of our religious leaders. And the Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. May the Creator be pleased with their soul. They're not longer here no more. So I want people to understand this, and I want people to vibe with this. This is an actual true fact. Bilal just wasn't no slave. He just wasn't no Muwedda. He was one of the strongest Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was at the forefront, the foreline, bringing it to everybody. A hut. One. I think that he even defecated on some of the idols. He defecated on some of the idols. Yes, he did. I think he peed and defecated on some of the idols. Bilal. Yes, he did. He defecated and peed on some of the idols. He was getting busy to believe in the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. Because he come from that bloodline to believe in the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. Way before that they understood that there was one creator. It was already in his bloodline. It was already in Bilal's bloodline to believe in one Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing. Because he come from royalty. Do you understand that? He come from that teaching. He come from that bloodline. His parents was of royalty and believe in the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. This is an actual true fact. So we got to tell the story for what it is. Not what it was. I mean, for what it was and not what it is. You see, throughout the ages and times, you know, information get lost. Information gets switched from different people that's in charge with authority. So we're gonna praise and we're gonna respect this Sahaba Bilal that got busy. He was one of the first Africans that took their Shahada. He was the first African, basically. He wasn't from Africa. He was from Arabia because he was born in. He know anything about African. but his family taught him about Africa. Basically, he had a connection to the Abyssinia people. He had a connection to the oneness of the Alpha Omega, the Creator and everything in existence. It's an actual true fact. He encouraged the prophet to tell the Muslims, right, at the time of persecution, right, against these idols, to go to Abyssinia and Ethiopia. Over there, they would be okay and safe over there because they got a king there that preached balance and justice. And he's of that same bloodline. So they believe in the Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing. And that was already in Bilal bloodline and the Bilal mind, body, and soul. This is actual true fact. And the Creator gave him, right, the core to him. It's an actual true fact, man. Put some respect on Bilal's name. Put some respect. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace.